Hello and welcome everyone to this week's episode of Raise Your Profile. Today I have Vasileios here with me. He's a relationship coach for men and sometimes women. I have no idea how today is going to go. This is a very interesting topic for all of us. Obviously, I think at one point or another, we've all experienced some sort of challenges in our relationships. So I'm sure this will be useful to many people. So welcome, Vas. Good to have you here with me today.
Thank you for having me as well, Dia. It's been a while since we last talked together.
Indeed, we actually did have a nice chat in the park, a nice interview previously. That was about a year ago. That's also on YouTube. So today is going to be something similar, perhaps. So Vas, tell us what led you to do what you do. What do you do first of all?
Okay, yeah, that's perfect. All right. So what do I do? Basically, I'm a chef. Wow, perfect. Okay, I'm a life coach, and I help men who have experienced a relationship setback, right? And they want to come to terms with it, with the situation, and I help them by rebuilding their self-worth and confidence, so that they feel again lovable and capable and resilient to have a deeply connected and committed relationship. And as you said as well, like in the past, I have worked as well with a few women here and there because they wanted support and to helping them understand their men better and how to increase the communication and rebuild the sparkle in the relationships.
Okay. So you work with men primarily on this?
Yes.
Or with women as well. Okay, great. And so what led you to do what you do today? How did you become a relationship coach? Story.
I have seen a lot of men suffering from relationships that left them feel like guilt or not good enough. I've been in such a place in the past myself, especially with my marriage. I had a big falling out with it. And I didn't want other men to suffer like I did. And because when the marriage finished for me, I went through like a deep depression for about a year and a half. And that's what I want for men. I want to help them get off that situation, understand it, accept it as soon as possible, and get back into the game of life. And that's what I'm aiming for.
Okay, so basically come out stronger and more resilient the other day and get back in the game of life.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So how do you do that? Do you have a specific sort of method that you use? Do you combine different approaches? How do you work?
I have a specific method that I use when I do that, and it's I break it down. It's like a triangle, okay? I break it down into 3 steps, which is well, with brief strokes here I will go. And the first one is about building your character, your mindset, and then building like your communication, the language that you use when you speak to yourself and how to speak to others as well. And third stage is usually the confidence. Okay, which is like building the resilience basically to be able to handle whatever life throws at you.
Mm-hmm.
Very simple.
Okay, so what are the main? I mean, you mentioned that you yourself you were in deep depression after your divorce. You briefly touched upon us. I'm not going to go into details. But what would be really interesting to explore here is what sort of challenges people come to you with. Is it always after some sort of breakup or divorce? Is it because they want to work in the relationship? Is it what sort of problems do people come to you with?
Well, the first one that usually they come with is about self-esteem. They feel like they're not good enough. They feel that it was 100% their fault, or they feel as I said, I think I said already, like low self-esteem. But I think the biggest one for me is that the sense of guilt. Okay, to have that big, huge, deep sense of guilt. As I said, like they feel it's my fault, it's my fault. And they need to understand, and this is the process that I take them through. We discuss what happened. And because I'm usually the third person in that situation, I can see more clear. I can put into consideration things that they hadn't put for themselves before. And, because what we tend to do in life, okay, we tend to go through the vicious cycle, which says like what happens in our life is like a 5% reality, and the other 95% is the story we create around what's happened.
Yeah.
And that's what causes us and make us feel like guilty, not good enough, not lovable, not capable, not worthy, all these mental, negative mental beliefs that we create for ourselves, okay, which stop us from actually moving forward, progressing forward in our life.
So it's always about the story we tell ourselves, usually, as with everything else, not just relationship.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's all about the story, because the truth is that the same thing can happen about a job. Okay, you had a position in a job, and in that position something went wrong, and you made yourself wrong about it. But then again, when another position comes up, which might be similar to it, you say like, no, I don't want to take it because I'm afraid I will repeat the same mistake, or I'm not good enough to take that position again, which might be an entirely different story. Okay, and in that moment, through the conversations I have with my clients, I make them see that that you choose your future based on your past, not on your present.
Mm-hmm.
You're anywhere else other than the present where you need to be.
So they choose it based on the past, but obviously that's not the most effective way.
No, because something has gone bad in the past doesn't mean that it will repeat itself. Only if you allow it, it will
Yeah.
repeat itself.
We tend to, as they say, not quite sure who said that, but successful people, so people in general tend to generalize failures and compartmentalize successes, or say, oh, that was a one-off success. But if something bad happens, we generalize it to like the whole relationship or the whole career or the whole type of job or whatever. We generalize failures because our brain is designed to protect us.
Pretty much, yeah.
And success in business, or in this case relationship, is actually the opposite, compartmentalizing the failure and saying that was a one-off, I don't have to repeat that same mistake, I can change. And generalizing the successes where, okay, that worked, I can do more of that, I can, I don't know, bringing flowers or whatever it was. I don't know, what are the things that work actually? What can men do that actually take the relationship to the next level and then prevent the breakup? Because I think what's interesting, of course, men come to you when they're feeling guilty, ashamed, the relationship is over, and so on and so forth, and you know how to pick them up. But what can they do to actually prevent that from happening if they want to stay in a relationship? So what are the things that they need to be mindful of?
Well, number one rule, first of all, is learn to listen. For us men, it's hard to sit down and listen and actually take into consideration what the other person is saying, because we have that tendency in our ego state, thinking that we don't need help, we don't need ideas, we don't need support, and that we're more than capable of actually doing everything on our own, which actually is not true. Because from the moment you are in a relationship with somebody else, it's not about you anymore. It's about the other person that you have opposite of you, and how that person that sits opposite of you recreates the way you feel. Okay, if the person I have opposite of me recreates me in a way that makes me feel happy, secure, safe, worthy, it's a big one for men, feeling worthy, and most of all feeling respected. Because don't forget, men and women, we perceive love within a relationship in two different ways. Okay,
what are
woman perceives love in a relationship by how much she's wanted, she's needed. A man perceives love in a relationship by how much he receives respect from his partner.
Okay, hold on, I think it's worth recapping. So women perceive love based on how much is wanted, they're wanted or needed, both.
Yeah, appreciated as well.
And appreciated, whereas men perceive based on respect. Okay.
All right.
I just want to recap because you said that really quick, and actually that's really important.
Well, yeah, as much as it is important for a man to feel respected, a man who doesn't feel respected within the household from the moment he believes that he provides something and he supports and he brings, let's say, basically the bacon home. Okay, if he doesn't feel that he's been respected for that, of course the relationship will start falling apart, because what he will do, and we're really good at that as men, okay, we shut off, we close off, we don't speak about how we feel, and slowly we fade away. Okay. Same thing we can argue, of course, happens with women when they don't feel respected, safe, secure, understood. And the biggest one for women is that to feel that they're being seen within the relationship. Okay, it's a big one. When you don't feel like you're being seen within the relationship, like, and I don't mean only in a physical way, like, okay, you made your hair today, oh, you look so good. No, being seen is also about being appreciated for what you do and provide within the house. I've had so many people that I see around me and I've talked to, that they have taken so much for granted the relationship that they have with the partner that they have forgotten even the basics. Open up the door for her, to walk out or walk in, or pull the chair for her to sit down, or say once in a while, say thank you for the breakfast you provide for us today, or thank you for the meal that you cooked. Even if she says that's nothing, like, okay, I do it. No, it's a little basic things that make the difference, the everyday difference. And men, we're really good in forgetting the details, but women are not. That's why you might have an argue about something, whatever is in the present, and then suddenly she will pop up saying something. Do you remember when you did this, which was like 3 years ago? And she remembers the time, the month, the time of the day as well, everything, because women are all about the details. And now one tip for us as men, that how we can overcome this, is good if you have a notebook. At the end of the day, we all have phones now, okay? And our phones have notes. What's the best? The best thing to do is like open up your notebook and say like, this is for the wife, whatever you wanna name it, okay? And you keep notes on the day and put them on the calendar as notifications, specifically, and it's better if you do it like 24 hours before. So you keep yourself up to the game, because it might be something that's not important to you, but in the end of the day, it's the partner you choose to have and be with, for good or for bad. And so it's important to her.
Is that notes about specific events and dates?
Specific events, dates. Like I've heard so many men, and I've been guilty of doing this myself. Okay, I once forgot her birthday, and I was running late, like last minute, to buy her a present, which was wrong. But this happened, okay, many years ago. But it's wrong because it was important to her. Like, you didn't remember me or something, and so on and so forth. As I said, and this only happens because we take the relationship that we have with the other person for granted, especially in a long-term relationship that way. Okay, we tend to take a lot of things for granted, and that by itself can ruin the relationship that we have.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you said, is the little tiny things that we remember in the long run. I think it's probably true for men. I don't know, actually, you're the expert, but I think it's probably true for men as well. And I actually saw this video the other day by, I think it was by Simon Sinek. He was talking about the exact same thing, how it's not about a one-off gift or remembering the birthday. It's about the teeny tiny things you make every single day. Like waking up and saying good morning before you look at your phone or your social media, like remembering, everyday things, like the teeny tiny things that accumulate over time. And this is what makes your girlfriend, partner, wife fall in love with you. And you can't pinpoint the exact day or time it happened, but it's the accumulation of all those things that make her fall in love with you. And that was
and it's the same thing, like how you attract your clients, how you maintain your clients in the business, by paying attention to the details, because the details will make the difference for the person opposite of you, whether that's your partner, whether that's a business partner or a potential client or whatever. It's all about relationships in the end of the day, and how you cultivate relationships in your everyday life.
Yeah, true. It's all about relationships, whether it's personal, intimate, friendships, clients. It's a successful people, as you said, in business, it's about the relationships. They're people. If you can be the best at what you do, but if you don't know how to talk to people, it's not really going to work. Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Yeah, and by our natural state for men, like, unfortunately, we tend to close off. It's easy for us to close off and not be very social. We're okay if we don't talk with somebody for a whole day. Okay, that's how we built as men. We're okay with it. A woman will go crazy if she doesn't speak to someone the whole day. Because that's our natural operating machine, our social operating machine. That's why you will see, okay, women are really good about building communities, okay, and men are really good about achieving goals, specific goals. So the best business partners that can create a business will be one man and one woman, okay, because the guy will be about building the goal, making things, having the vision, okay, how things can go, and the woman will build the support network. Or, as we say, in other words, in terms of a relationship, it is the man's job to provide the house, but it is the woman's job to make it a home.
Yeah.
Because I have maybe let's say I bring more bacon home than you do, okay, and I can buy the house, but I'm not good. Men are not good in building a house, making it a home. Women are, through many reasons, and that by itself, makes you see and understand and feel like how businesses work. Because in the end of the day, a good, well-run house is like a good, well-run business. If there's a good communication within the house and everything is under control, then you can see these people can really be successful in life because they have put the priorities in place. They don't have leaks.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Now to mention communication, here's an interesting one. What's
Ooh.
your advice to people who are in a relationship and they struggle to communicate? And usually what people do is, oh, I try to make him understand, he just doesn't get it. Or I'm trying to explain to her and she doesn't get it, she doesn't listen or whatever. People who struggle with communication, what is it that they can do? And obviously, I think the first step is taking responsibility. That communication, if communication, the meaning of communication is the response you get, as we say in NLP.
Hmm.
But what is it that men and women can do specifically that can improve their communication in the relationship, instead of going away angry and say, oh, he doesn't get it or she doesn't get it? What is it I can do to improve that?
It's really funny what you just said, because you just basically answered it. Is taking responsibility. But what is important, in order for somebody to take responsibility for something, they need to understand something else before that. And I think that this is where we fail usually in our communication in every aspect of our lives. Okay, and I've seen it mostly in business and in interpersonal relationships. That is, as human beings, whatever we do, whatever we say, okay, everything we say has a positive intention behind it, no matter what that is. Whether we fight, okay, whether we applaud someone, whether we acknowledge, or whether we show appreciation. But here's the thing: the truth of the matter is that whatever we do, whatever we say, we prioritize our brains. We always think, what is in for me? Okay. So when we have this conversation, as you said earlier, and we say, oh, he doesn't understand me. Yes, because you have a vision in your mind how things you want to run, but it's about how you communicate. But it won't happen. And the reason being because you have prioritized yourself, how you want things to go. Okay? It's like when you're trying to sign a contract for a job, you agree or you don't agree based on what you think will be best for you. But you don't put into consideration the other party, how things are occurring for them or to them. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So yes, you will take responsibility, but you will take responsibility when you understand that, okay, everything I say, unfortunately, I prioritize myself first, my well-being, my happiness, my health, whatever you want to name it, okay? Once you understand this, and then you understand that, okay, this is me, but this is the other person. So we don't necessarily agree 100% every time on what's happening. So then you speak to that person, you say, you know what, I take 100% responsibility about the things I have said to you and the things that I have done so far within this relationship. And we reach that state that we have reached. But what I would like to do is to sit down as we are right now, and I would like to listen to you telling me, how does things occur for you within this relationship, how you perceive things. Okay, what the result that this thing has, and it's something that I have seen a lot of times in the past, a lot of times, is that I had the relationship where I did one thing for that person, okay, and she reacted to me as if I had done to her 10 things. Maybe because it's something that she hadn't experienced before. So for her it was something new, something different than what she had experienced in the past. And she said, like, you know what, this person is amazing. Okay, and then I had the relationships where I went and I did 3, 4, 5 things, and that person was reacting to me as if I had done nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because it wasn't connecting with what she needed, maybe because she has seen this thing happen a lot of times and she was like had become jaded to it. I don't know. So that's why I believe it's very important to sit down, take 100% responsibility of your way of being within that responsibility, within that relationship, and then ask the person how things are occurring to that person. Okay, and in that space where you sit down and have that conversation, there needs to be no judgment, no bias. Okay, there needs to be no assumption, jumping, as we say, nothing. All you need to do is sit down and listen, because usually in this moment the biggest truths come up. But in order for this to happen, the person sitting opposite of you, they need to feel safe and secure that the space that you're sharing right now when you're going to talk, it's a safe space. Whatever they will say, it will come out and it will be taken like as it needs to be taken.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can actually solve what's happening in a relationship and start seeing where are the blind spots within that relationship and the ways that you can improve it.
Okay, so sit down and listen and encourage the other person
To open up and share.
open up and share. Okay, I remember we spoke last time about something called love languages, if I'm not mistaken. So And you touched upon it briefly just now, saying that maybe the other person, when you were doing a lot of things and your partner wasn't appreciating those, maybe she didn't expect that, maybe she expect something else, or it just didn't connect or resonate with her. So does that have to do with love languages, the way we expect things to be?
Yes, it's. I think is the key word is what you said. Is the what resonates with, what resonates. I have a relationship where my love language is words of affirmation. Okay, I like to hear it basically.
Tell us what they are first. What are the four love languages for the people who don't
Okay,
know?
all right, fair enough. Words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service, gifts, and physical touch.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a sixth one that is coming up lately, where I hear it as a lot, which is called distance, which basically is giving the space to the other person so they will feel free within that space to express themselves how they feel about the relationship that they have with you.
Okay, so it's
Okay.
five. Okay.
So I was experimenting a bit, as I said, with my girlfriend, and I am a words of affirmation person. All right, I like to hear it. My girlfriend is acts of service. She likes people when they take action about things and actions actually towards that person. So I was trying to speak to her, okay, to make her open up, and she wasn't opening up. So I started doing some work in the house, fixing, cooking, tidying up, whatever in my spare time. And she started like lighting up, being more self-expressed, sharing, talking. I was like, wow, is this the person I'm dating? I didn't know. You need to find a bit ways, because even sometimes, funnily enough, even sometimes if you sit down and speak with a person, okay, what is your love language, or actually what triggers you in a positive way that will make you open up and make this relationship deeper, better, stronger. Sometimes people, when you not confront them, but when you put them in a position like a spotlight where they need to open up and share, they find it hard. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but proven as well is that sometimes better for them to open up is like through action. Okay, because we have our barriers, we have our limiting beliefs, we feel a bit worried that we open up, we will be taken for granted very fast and be used and abused. So best thing is you use yourself as an example. I take the action and they follow suit usually, and then you get the chance to see. And remember as
It's
well that
something nice for them, and then they will follow. They will start opening up.
yeah, do something nice that basically will benefit the relationship from the moment
Yeah.
that you have chosen to be with that person. It means that you're willing to invest time and energy within that relationship. So everything you do that will add value,
Yeah.
yes, will be nice.
Show that you're still there for them and still care. Okay.
Yes. But also bear in mind that um, the love languages, although we use them for positive things, okay, they have their negative side as well, okay? And that's another thing that you will see a lot in relationships and the problems that they have. As an example, again, I like words of affirmation, okay? I like someone telling me how much they appreciate me, love me, they like me, they want to be with me. But when this doesn't happen, which is the negative side, okay, they're not talking, that destroys me. That makes me feel really bad because I don't know what's happening within that space, you see? Or for somebody else, might be quality time. So they like to spend a lot of time together and doing activities together. Or as we say, like, I want to grow all together with you and share experiences. But then you have a boyfriend, which you really like, but he's all about work and he's never present. So he's good in everything else, but he's bad in that.
Okay.
Okay? But that for you is a primary, because it's your primary love language, is a primary thing. You need to feel loved. That's how you perceive love. That's how you perceive love. And if you don't have it, no matter if everything else is perfect within that relationship, just because you don't have that, you will always feel something missing.
Right. So this is really, really important, isn't it? Because what you're basically saying is that even if everything is perfect, people on the same wavelength, they get along and everything, if they lack this ability, if they have different preferred languages, love languages, and if they lack the ability to understand what the other person needs, and as you gave in your example, if somebody's always working and they don't spend enough quality time, if the other person's quality time, then there's always going to be a mismatch and unhappiness, even if everything else is perfect.
Yes, because we're always looking
Yeah.
for something more. For that, we're looking for that fulfillment.
Yeah.
You're always looking for something more. So you always want something to be going a bit better, especially if you have invested a lot of time being with the other person and you see a future with them. You always want something more. You always feel like there's room for improvement.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's about continuously working on the relationship as well and continuously improving it, because that's all we want and expect, as you
Yes.
said. Okay. Do you have anything else to share? Any tips for people watching us right now, men or women?
Tips in terms of like how to improve, how to,
Improving relationships, so preventing
okay.
heartbreak. So anything else you'd like to share before we wrap up?
Right. Okay. So, first of all, surprise him. Surprise. I mean, the best time to shift the waters of a relationship is when everything has been taken already for granted and it has been going through a routine phase of your life. It's like it's the that routine phase is either where it gets rekindled or it gets cold. Okay, and you are in that state of your life. And as they say in Hollywood, the way they create series, okay, they have three different kinds of types of episodes that they create. Okay, I won't go into too much detail, but there is one specific type of episode which is called the change of pace.
Okay.
Okay, where you have a certain change, you have a certain pace in mind of how your favorite series is walking, throughout the season. But then again, they're doing one episode which is called the change of pace, which changes the whole aspect of it because they want to introduce new things, they want to shake the waters, they want to make it interesting, basically. Okay, so when you're going through your routine state because long working hours, working weekends, having children, priorities, responsibilities, and blah blah blah. So the best thing to do is like do something to surprise the other person. Change pace, which means like a sudden,
Break the pattern, basically.
yeah, like sudden vacation, 2 days off or something,
Yeah.
or surprise night out, like way out of what they would expect. Okay, and whatever comes in mind, because in the end of the day, only the couple knows the communication the couple has and how and what they like and what they do. But surprise is one thing. The other thing is that, okay, with gifts, sometimes you can do some gifts that it will add value in their lives. What I mean by that, we tend to think, when we say gifts, we tend to think in terms of buy you something expensive, okay, or buy you flowers, or buy you chocolate, or what have you, okay? That will add something, we will make the other person feel nice, but it is in the moment, it stays in the moment, and that will, unfortunately, good or bad, will stay not for long. When I'm saying do them a gift that will have long-lasting effects, might be like buy them a yearly subscription. Okay, let's say your girlfriend likes Audible, okay, and Audible is about to expire. Buy her the subscription, so every time she will go and listen to the next audiobook, she will say like, "Oh, my boyfriend or my husband bought me another year worth of subscription." Okay? Or you as a guy want to join a club, it costs 200 quid, let's say, as a yearly subscription. Like she can buy that for you. Okay, this not only will be perceived as a gift, not only it will be perceived as this person thinks of me and loves me, so she does something that I appreciate, I love, because like attracts like. So if she does something I like, of course I will like her more. But it's not only that. Okay, the underlying theme of all this, it shows commitment. Okay, it shows commitment and it shows loyalty. It shows that this person it plans to stay for you for at least for a bit while longer. They want to stay with you.
Well, your subscription is lasting.
Kind of. Okay, so yeah, you see, but because you invest in something, I invest in something you like because I want you to be happy.
Yeah.
Okay, because like attracts like, but it's an investment for something that will go long term.
Yeah.
So surprise them and do something out of the ordinary. Okay, if you have children, you can give them to like your best friend or your mom, your dad, or whoever you trust. Okay, and you can create something that you can go away with. Now, there are two versions to it, all right? One is you go away for a while together, 3-4 days. Basically what it does, it detaches you out of the center of life with all its troubles, responsibilities, and everything. You detach yourself. Best is if you can go as far away as possible to change background. I mean, if you live in London, don't go somewhere outside, like in Dorset or Wales. Go outside of UK entirely, because you change climate, you change background. You will see something different culture. That will help your neuropaths, like to build something new, to recreate. Especially Spain, Latin countries are really good, especially when we're talking about love, or Italy, because these are like nice. We have connected these places with something romantic in the back of our mind. So when we go there, that helps reiterate what we feel and what we believe about the person. Okay. And the second version of it, as I said, is not something that you don't necessarily need to go away for, but it's like it is what businesses use to do the team building, to bond teams together. Basically, that's what you're gonna do, because you're a team in the end of the day. It's you against the world. So what you do is you just take the other person and you book like pottery class. Okay, you book cooking classes, or you go in. Let's say something silly you can do. Let me see, because I was looking at it the other day. It was really funny. Okay, you go on Groupon, okay, and they have, for example, they have like, you can go for 50 quid, you can drive for half an hour every car you like Porsche, Lamborghini or something. And you know your man likes these things. Maybe you don't like, but who cares, right? You book these tickets for him and you go out for one day and you drive everything just for the loans, just for the fun. Or what my other friends did in Croydon, South Croydon, they went, yeah, paintball, okay? You take your best friends, you take your boyfriend, your husband, and you go and play paintball. What does this do for your relationship? It's like, as I said, it's like a team building. It helps bond together. Mm-hmm. It helps do something together that takes you out of the ordinary and into the extraordinary. Okay, and you create bonds, because what happens? It forces you to team up together in order to do something, to accomplish something. Whether that's a cooking class where you need to create a new plate of food, whether it's a pottery class where you need to create a new pottery, or paintball where you need to kick ass of the other team. Mm-hmm. It's everything that teams you together, okay? Everything that teams you together to face a common goal actually helps bond the family together, the relationship, the couple together.
Okay, so any sort of game or activity where it's you working towards a common goal, like team building, like you said.
Yeah.
That's really, really good. And buy gifts for each other. Yeah, I have my handbag my boyfriend bought for me, and I look at it every day. So I'm reminded of them every single day, and it's lovely. So I agree. I agree with all of these things. Some great tips there. Okay, so if somebody wants to work with you, Vas, how can they contact you? What's the best way to contact you? Do you offer individual coaching, group coaching? How does it work, and how can they contact you?
Well, I work right now one-to-one, so people who want to work with me, they can find me here on Facebook under my name, Vasileios Tsitsivos. Mm-hmm. Or they can find me if they want a bit combination of coaching and healing, because I'm doing Reiki therapies and training as well. So they can find me on my website, which is vastsitsivosreiki.co.uk. But these are the two best ways that people can contact me.
Okay, excellent. Yes, we'll share the links at the end of the video and after the live as well. Okay, any last words or tips you'd like to share before we wrap up? Anything else that comes to mind? I see that things are always coming to mind, new tips and tips. If you'd like to share anything else before we wrap up, please do so.
Well, what I would say from experience is, like, never take anything for granted. Yeah. And always look for ways to improve and grow, whether that is within your relationship or in a business or in general in life.
Or anything else. Yeah, absolutely. That's I couldn't agree with this more. Always look for ways to improve, because otherwise, once you get complacent, whatever it is, that's dead. Whether it's a business or relationship, the minute you become complacent and you stop growing, either you're growing or dying, as Tony Robbins says. So always look for ways to grow.
Yes, correct.
Always look for ways to grow and improve the relationship, the business, or the environment you have. And there's always ways, even if you don't see them right now. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And I wish you all the best in your business. And I hope you help a lot more men and women improve their relationships or get over the challenges they experience and come out even stronger the other side. Thank you. And
thank you too. Thank you for having me today.